As the temperature begins to rise and the buds start sprouting, I can't help but look forward to spring. There's nothing better than sitting with the sun on my face, an oak tree against my back, and my trusty bow in my hands. Spring means one thing to the bow hunter, and that's wild turkey season. There are few things as exciting as calling a strutting tom into a decoy spread with nothing but a few well-timed yelps. When you see a tail fan deployed within 20 yards at eye level, you're taken to a different world. A world where the stresses of everyday life completely vanish. The only thing between you and success is your ability to draw your bow undetected and send your projectile through the tom's vitals. My weapon of choice this year is a compound bow, and I'll be shooting guillotine-style broadheads. Stick around, and I'll show you my amazing 2023 turkey hunt and the shot of a lifetime. I didn't really do a lot of preparation this season and only scouted my hunting spot the night prior. I saw some really good sign and knew from the landowner that there were a lot of turkeys around. To make opening morning a breeze, I set up my blind the day prior and also pre-positioned all my decoys, chair, and tripods. This way, on opening morning, all I needed was a bow and my camera. Self-filming a hunt requires a lot of equipment, which can add up in weight fast. It's such a luxury to have a private spot where you can leave some of your heavy gear overnight. Once I had my blind all sorted out, it was time to head back home for a sleepless night prior to opening morning. Opening morning couldn't come soon enough, but unfortunately, it was a bit of a letdown. There were a fair amount of gobbles, but they were all in the distance and likely not on the property I had permission to hunt. I still had a bit of action in the form of a lone hen that took her time meandering through my decoy spread. She was curious, but kept her distance. I had some other friends of the trash panda variety come by to say hi as well, but they were also skeptical of my setup. I hunted this spot for 2 days, and without laying eyes on a tom, I thought it was time to switch things up for the third day of the hunt. The new spot that I chose was the closest end of the property to the gobbles I'd been hearing, and it was a great choice. The gobbling quieted down, and I hadn't heard anything for a few hours when I was surprised by a tom at the end of the field. He was very slow to come in, but looked like he was alone, and my decoys were the only game in town. He hung up in the corner of the field and looked like he wanted to cross through the woods, so I coaxed him over with a few yelps. Generally, a yelp from a hen is telling the tom that she is on her way to him. Since I'm trying to draw the tom in, going silent is generally the best plan once he sees your decoys.
It doesn't get much better than that. Clean, ethical, awesome. I don't know what to say. That was amazing.
Little bit covered in blood. That was a pretty exciting hunt. When the day started, there was tons of turkey gobbles happening just to the south of me, and it sounded pretty fired up, not gonna lie. I thought they were pretty close, and I thought they were gonna fly down right in front of me and it would be game over. They ended up following another hen, and kind of went off in the distance, so I thought maybe my hunt might be over. One tom peeled out from the group, assuming it was this guy, and he came to the west here in the field behind me and gobbled all the way down the field. Again, I thought he might turn into the field and check out my decoys, but no luck. And then my phone went off because I have a trail camera in the woods to the north, and he had strutted right in front of my trail camera. I was sitting there the 2 previous days and heard gobbles in this location, but nothing came by my stand, or blind, I should say. It's pretty frustrating to see that picture, to be honest, knowing that I was sitting there yesterday and today I'm not. Anywho, I kept at it. I called a little bit, and sure enough, it came right in. I didn't really call much at all once it was coming in, and I had everything good to go. I had both cameras running. I had my bow on my lap, in hand, ready to go, and I knew all I wanted to do was wait until his back turned. And then the first opportunity that I had, I let her rip. Amazing. I couldn't believe how effective these arrows were. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. I've got a couple very basic calling strategies. I wouldn't say I'm a proficient caller by any means, but I try to keep it quiet and do just enough for it to work, and it seemed to be pretty effective over the last few years. What I like to do in the morning to avoid overcalling, because that's pretty easy to do, is I'll call and I'll wait for 3 gobbles and then I call again. Another strategy that has worked on pretty much every turkey I've ever shot is to tease them. And the way that I do that, when they gobble, I will cut them off with some aggressive yelps, and then I will wait. If they gobble back, or better yet, they cut my call off with another gobble, I know that they're committed. So I sit here silently. They'll be gobbling, trying to locate me, and I just don't say a word. So you can tell sometimes that they get more excited and more excited, trying to find me, hoping that I'll gobble back, and I don't. If it sounds like the turkey's walking away from me, I'll yelp again just to redirect it. But it seems to work pretty well. It's really easy to overcall birds, and I find this teasing tactic and preventing yourself from overcalling in the morning seems to work pretty well. As for those Magnus bullhead broadheads, the guillotine style ones, I think I'm going to be using those a lot more. I hit this bird, it took its head clean off, and it died instantly. The drawbacks of the guillotine style broadhead are its range. I probably wouldn't shoot it much more than 15 yards. I shot this one at 10 today, and that's what I had it tuned to. And it worked perfectly. I'll definitely be using those again in the future. Morning 4 was just as exciting as morning 3, with tons of gobbles. I was in a field adjacent to the one I was the day prior, and just after sunrise, 2 nice big toms appeared at the end of the field.
Well, another successful turkey hunt. Tried the same luck that I had yesterday with a guillotine-style broadhead, and it didn't quite work. It looked like I hit it in the neck, but it didn't go down, and I didn't really see a whole lot of damage, and I saw some feathers. So I think the shot was a little bit low. So I had just enough time to take another broadhead out of my quiver, but not a guillotine style. Put the 40-yard pin right on it and let her go. I think I hit that one in the neck again too, and it went down right away. So it could have been bad, but luckily it was salvaged. When the morning started, all the gobbling was pretty far away. It sounded like it was across the road on the neighbor's property. But I was very limited in the calling today. Gave some very loud but limited hen yelps, and just sat quiet for most of the time. Gobbles got a little bit closer, and then lucky enough 2 toms came barreling into the field. They beat up the decoy pretty good and presented a shot, which I then slightly missed and recovered later. So still a success. I always love a hunt where you don't really have high prospects of success, and then everything comes together in the end. This morning, the gobbling was quite far away, so I didn't really think I'd see anything. And contrary to my thoughts, 2 birds came in, 6:30, ripping down the field straight to my decoys. It was pretty exciting to see. They covered a lot of ground to get to where I was from where they had roosted. Awesome, awesome, awesome. One of the things I've learned over the years with respect to turkey hunting is that patience pays off. Sometimes you'll hear them gobbling right beside you and you think it's gonna be a one and done sort of scenario when they fly down, and you won't see them all day or they'll fly in a different direction. Other days you don't hear gobbling at all and you'll see a big tom come in full silent mode. So sit it out, be patient, and you'll get a bird on the ground. I'm so glad I tried those guillotine style broadheads. I went to High Falls Outfitter in Belleville and chatted to some of the knowledgeable staff there about the use of them. Managed to tune up some arrows and they worked pretty well. Season opened on Tuesday, April 25th. It's now Friday, April 28th, and I've got 2 toms down. Best turkey season yet. Love it. There's always something bittersweet about a successful hunt, because it means the hunt is over for the rest of the year and you can't hunt again until next year. If you're a die-hard hunter like me, it's never really over. You're gonna be tuning your bow and practicing all winter long. Tagging out early, not a real problem.
That's a wrap on my 2023 turkey season. I'm always extremely grateful when I harvest any game animal, but to get 2 beautiful toms during opening week is a real treat. You can't win them all, but this season I sure feel like I did. I'm really looking forward to the great meals I'll plan with all the meat too. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and as always, happy hunting.